Let's get loud.
All right, welcome to this edition of Receipt Tuesday. NativeSeahawk is my name, and dang it, we lost on Monday Night Football. But you know what? There are so many awesome things to be very, very proud of with the Seahawks team. But let's go back into time, rewind time a little bit, and talk about what things and we were expecting going into kickoff on Monday Night Football. And what are your which players are you looking forward to seeing do well or improve today?
I think the biggest one I really want to see an improvement on is going to be Bradford on the offensive line. I mean, if he can just at least just by minimizing the penalties alone, he'll help us out a lot.
So I'm just going to put the whole back seven of the defense. I'm going to see needing improvement.
That's the big.
So originally, yesterday I kind of teased it on my Twitter account that it was going to be like a high scoring game, and I don't know if I agree with it. I'll talk a second about who I think or why I think it's going to be lower than 46.5 points over under. The second question is, what are some question marks you have after the Dolphins win coming into this game in Detroit?
Can the guys not cause so many holding penalties that?
Yeah, for me, it is going to come back to the offensive line because, again, the offensive line, when that thing is clicking, yeah, you definitely got to clean up the penalties, and then half of those it's out of our control. I think you could call a penalty on every single play, but yeah, you got to do your part to clean that up. But again, the other question mark I have, of course, and I said that alluded to earlier about this defense. We really don't know what Coach Mike Mack has done with this defense yet, really. And I'm not trying to say that to impugn the fact that we're in top 5 and all these rankings on all these different categories on defense. But you haven't played an established quarterback yet, and that makes the whole difference in this season so far. And when you got Jared Goff, and I hate Jared Goff. I hated him when he was in with the Rams, and but Seattle, for some reason, has had his number for quite a few games now. And so again, the other thing I'm really hoping for as a question mark is, can Mike Mack, again, he was undefeated last season against the NFC, and can he go against an NFC team? I believe this is the first NFC team we played this season, right? We had the Broncos, the Patriots, the Dolphins, all wins. But now we're going up against the NFC, and this is another question mark. Can that defense, really do what it can to limit Goff, limit Brown? I'm not saying Brown is so good. I think you're going to see a lot of Gibbs. You're going to see a lot of Montgomery. And
I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, and so then you have it comes back down to the back seven, the linebackers, the defensive backs, the safeties. I'm wondering if Seattle tries to employ a 3 down lineman and the rest of them, kind of a big nickel. You're going to have to figure out where's the pressure is going to come from if it's not them. And then here's the other thing: if you're on offense, and if you've got a depleted defense like we do. I wonder again, and it's going to come to the next question here. Predicting the score. This is the last question before we call it a night before kickoffs in about 15 minutes. If you have a depleted defense, then I wonder if Seattle's offensive game plan then is to limit the amount of passing plays and do what you think the Lions are going to do against you and run the ball and run it and try to soak up a lot of the time of possession to keep that depleted defense on the bench.
Here's the thing. Also, the other option is short passing offense. Dump it off to JSN or your tight ends or to Jake Bobo for a short game, 5 yards, 5 yards here, 4 yards there, and move the chains.
But kind of those short, like you're saying, short, run, short, deep.
Work for Joe Montana.
Yeah, exactly. But predict the score? What do you think is going to happen tonight?
38-30 Seahawks.
So I think based on what I'm just got done saying, I'm going to go low scoring, and I'm going to go back to a 23-20 Seahawks win. Okay, so I thought it was going to be a low scoring game. My original Twitter post, X post, was saying that I thought it was going to be a track meet. Should have went with my initial gut reaction, and it definitely was a track meet. And I don't know. Again, I'm not a coach. I am not someone that schemes things up. However, knowing what I know about defenses, and if I had such a depleted defense, I think I would have tried to do the best I could to control the clock better. I know that, Gino had a sensational game, but we got to really take the playbook and just open it up to the nth chapter into the playbook to really pull out some really cool plays. And the hook and ladder play. I never ever thought I'd see that as a Seahawks fan. So that was fun to see that. And it looks like we'd been practicing that throughout all of training camp. However, you would think that you'd want to manage the clock and try to make it a 23-20 Seahawks win. Again, knowing that you are without 4, if now 5, because Love goes out and middle of the game with a thigh injury, you would think that the offense would do what they could, just run, and tick, 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 try to keep that defense on the sideline as much as you can. As boring as that would have been, sort of bring us back to the old Chuck Knox days, it still would have done what, probably would have hopefully minimized the amount of damage that and opportunities you're giving of pretty much a full, positive, full, healthy offense that the Lions had, less the center, Ragno. But, it shows again that some of the cool, fun things that I saw, though, in yesterday's loss, of course, was the fact that the team, again, like I said about the playbook, being able to go deep into the playbook and see what this offense could do. The offensive line was a big question mark again coming into this game, and they did very well. And tremendous kudos to Stone Forsythe. We didn't hear Hutchinson's name at all last night. I think somebody said it best. He had no tackles, no sacks, but a lot of air hugs. And that's the best you could do against one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. And so if the Seahawks could score 30 points a game, which they pretty much did, I mean, the 2-point conversion should have been challenged. It should have been reviewed. I guess it was reviewed up in the box, but they didn't, turn it over. Give that 2 points to the Seahawks. The Seahawks defense again will get healthy, and I believe that if we can score 30 points on offense, this defense will give up no more than 17 at the most. If you can win 30-17 on average, you're going to go not only make the playoffs, but you're going to go deep into the playoffs. And so it shows again why the importance of having K9 back there. I love Charbonnet to pieces, but when you have a guy that basically makes you feel like you're playing Madden when you watch him, being able to go from north, south, and then back from east to west and within a half a split second, and then beat the defenders to the sideline and go right around them in for the end zone. That is extreme rare air that you're in, my friends. Again, having Gino back there, having the best game of his career in terms of passing yardage. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever see a 400-yard game out of any of our quarterbacks. I mean, we were so, attuned and accustomed to having, Russell Wilson back there, 200 yards throwing. Gino was kind of in the same canoe for a long time. To see our quarterback go up for almost 400 yards was amazing. And so then on defense, again, I'd hoped that we would have adapted a little bit, adjusted to it. And I was even calling for like a 3-down lineman kind of a situation where you bring in more linebackers, safeties, and DBs to sort of fill those A, B, and C gaps in the run game. But, again, our backups are just not ready to step up there on the defensive line. And it really showed it. They were getting moved around and pushed around, something you will rarely see with Leonard Williams and as well as Byron Murphy, as young as he is. You don't really see him get pushed around that much. In fact, Murphy usually gets double teamed. And so you didn't see that last night in terms of being able to maximize the defensive line. Now, we've got to give shout out to Derek Hall. That kid played his lights out. Probably his best game it may not even been his best game statistically, but in terms of all of the pressure was on him to provide that quarterback pressure, and he did. He played lights out last night. So again, kudos to Derek Hall. We were definitely missing Boyamafe and Chuno and Nwosu. We were missing him. So I think going into this coming Sunday, again, we'll get into that and the 12th hour podcast right before kickoff next Sunday morning. But I do expect a get right game against the Giants. They're not playing very well. They have got issues at quarterback. They don't know who they're going to have. But I believe that it's going to be a get right game. And hopefully they don't take the Giants for granted, that they can do what they can to not look too much ahead in the schedule for at that Thursday game against the 49ers right after this Sunday. So again, kudos to the offense for trying to keep up with the Detroit Lions offense. Jared Goff, again, I said it in the pregame, again with this Receipt Tuesday podcast, that Goff, I don't like the guy. I mean, the kid is really good. If I don't like a player, it's because they do so well normally. But again, he was doing really well over the years against other teams, but not against Seattle. But again, I sincerely believe if we had a full roster, a full healthy defensive roster, he would have definitely been on his heels. He would have definitely been throwing a lot of footballs away. He definitely would not have had a 100% completion rate like he did. And, again, that's that doggone flea flicker pass, that Statue of Liberty, not Statue of Liberty, but that throwback pass to Jared Goff in the end zone would not have happened had we had our original starters in there. So I think Seattle wins this game, and people say, well, man, are you sure that they would have done well, having, those starters in there on defense? Yes, it matters. It matters tremendously because how many drives were extended last night where, again, Detroit, just kept moving the chains, and it wouldn't have happened had Goff been pressured more. Had the Lions running backs, they didn't do so hot yesterday, regardless of the fact that we had backups on the defensive line. Our run game against the run game went really, really well for the defense. So give kudos to Mike Mack there. He was just really working with resources that were depleted. And that's really what we're talking about here. So we really got to get healthy. It sounds like Jerome Baker is the only one that's close to starting on Sunday. The other ones might get the day off on Sunday just to rest up for the big NFC West rival 49ers game just 4 days after the Giants. So I wouldn't be mad about that. I think our offense will definitely do better than theirs, but it was a tough loss. You had to lose eventually. Nobody was going to go 17-0. This isn't the Miami Dolphins of the 70s. You had to do it, and it's kind of nice to be able to say, okay, that pressure's off the team. Now we can just get to business and continue to build another winning streak, which I think they'll do going forward, especially if everybody gets back healthy and we start seeing a really solid team that Schneider has put together. Again, it was our very first time against an established quarterback, but he didn't have a full defense, so you really don't know really what you have on defense. But on offense, like I've been saying all season, you had a full, healthy offense. We just needed the offensive line to click, and they did click yesterday. Again, Hutchinson was a pedestrian defensive end yesterday, which is exactly what you want to see week in and week out. And their best pass rushers are muted, and their secondary had a little bit of injury with Branch out, but they were pretty much fully healthy, and so you still stacked up yards and points against that what people think is a top 10 defense. So I'm really, really encouraged going forward what we have to see in this 2024 version of the new Seahawks that we have here. My name is Aaron Thomas, Native Seahawk, signing off. We'll see you back on Sunday morning with an edition of the 12th hour episode right here on the Loud and Devoted podcast.